President Tinubu receives Brazilian delegation, promises to liberate people of both countries below the poverty line. Minister of Women Affairs Iman Suleiman Ibrahim advocates women empowerment at the ongoing commission in New York. And security experts tax journalists on ethical reportage in security matters, citing recent global terrorism index as a wake-up call. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTN News 24, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Chinenye Mui. With common vision between the Nigerian and Brazilian leaders to liberate most of their peoples below the poverty line, both countries are strengthening economic partnerships to achieve the goals. In this regard, President Bola Tinubu received the Brazilian delegation led by the country's Foreign Affairs Minister, Mauro Vieira, to discuss some areas of expansion and the relations. The delegation were primarily in the State House to deliver the invitation of the Brazilian President, Inácio Lula da Silva, inviting President Tinubu on a state visit to Brazil. The Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tuga, and his Brazilian counterpart also briefed President Tinubu on an earlier discussion on the strategic dialogue existing between Nigeria and Brazil.
And Brazil only has such a mechanism with 3 countries, so which shows you the importance they attach to Nigeria and their relationship with Nigeria. And within that, because it's all-encompassing, there is agriculture, there is defense, there is energy, there is solid minerals. For instance, we discussed solid minerals because we have a critical mineral here called niobium, which Brazil also has. And Brazil is about the only country with the magnitude of the processing capacity for that particular mineral. So we want to see them establish it here.
Ambassador Tuga also reveals that both leaders are working towards a common aspiration.
So essentially, President Tinubu and President Lula share one thing in common. They want to see millions of people in their societies, in their countries, moved from poverty to the middle class. Mr. President also drew attention to the need to take advantage of the bilateral air service agreement that exists between Nigeria and Brazil. There used to be flights between Nigeria and Brazil. You could fly Varig from Lagos to Rio de Janeiro in the 80s. So we want to see that brought back, because development and trade and investment comes when there's movement of people between countries. So this is what we're looking to bring back.
Minister of Women Affairs Iman Suleiman Ibrahim says the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is driving bold reforms to institutionalize women's empowerment, localize gender equality policies, and deliver interventions at scale. She disclosed this at the ongoing high-level strategic joint event for gender equality in New York, United States, with the theme, Achieving Scale on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Through Field Pivoting, Localizing the Global Agenda. In a statement, the minister states that the federal government aims to empower 10 million women over the next 3 years to boost their productivity and contribution to achieving the administration's $1 trillion economy target. She reaffirms her ministry's intervention is the Nigeria for Women Project, NFWP, which has already reached over 450,000 women and is now scaling it up to directly reach 4.5 million women through access to finance, skills development, and cooperative-based interventions. Suleiman Ibrahim added that one of the critical lessons from the past decades is that small-scale interventions cannot drive systemic change. noting that scaling gender equality requires U.S. to move from pilot projects to large-scale interventions that reach millions. The minister called on governments, donors, and multilateral institutions to prioritize funding for localized gender equality programs that work within community structures. In attendance were former Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallen, wives of governors of Edo State, Federal Capital Territory, Imo, Kebbi, Nasarawa, Zamfara, Ogun, and other eminent personalities. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central, has filed a contempt charge against Senate President Godswill Akpabio following her 6-month suspension. The charge, contained in Form 48 of the Federal High Court, Abuja, also names the Clerk of the National Assembly and Senator Neda Imashun, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct, as contemptors. Senator Uduaghan claims her suspension violates an existing court order issued and purportedly served on the alleged contemptors. In an ex parte motion, the Federal High Court had ruled to halt any investigation into the senator's alleged misconduct, which originated from a February 20, 2025 plenary session. The interim injunction prevents the Senate committee from continuing its inquiry until a formal ruling is made. In a response to the lawsuit, Senate President Akpabio challenged the court's jurisdiction, arguing that the Senate should not be subjected to external interference. The court had set March 25, 2025 for the hearing on the matter. Security experts are urging journalists and media professionals to be more diligent and professional in their reporting, citing the recent Global Terrorism Index, GTI, as a wake-up call. Discussing gains of war against terrorism on NTS Good Morning Nigeria, guests say the index, which relies on local media and publicly available information, highlights the need for accurate representation of Nigeria to the world. Ekemini Williams reports.
Nigeria has moved up to 6th place in the Global Terrorism Index report, with 565 terrorism-related deaths recorded in 2024, marking an increase from the previous 2 years. The country's score of 7.658 indicates a rise from 8th place in 2023 and 2024. However, security experts suggest that while the report should be taken seriously, its accuracy and sources need to be verified.
As I've been sometimes privileged to be on the field with this, and I've seen after both on the other side, both side figures, we see dead bodies and all that, and I've seen how the media come out and the figures are up. And when you ask, I also have the privilege of asking some news editors, how did you get this figure? Because this is contrary to say, look, one of the editors told me, look, we need to sell the news. I can tell you this, that the people don't care if you report that there's nothing, no debt. And that is a figure that agencies or organizations like GTI will pick.
So they also have to have the media literacy to know who is who in the media world. Unfortunately for the security man or for the government trying to show its country, the GTI report will not show, for example, how many Boko Haram have surrendered. It will not show the number of equipment that the military has added, the opening of new units, people that are rescued. All these things, the GTI is not concerned about them.
Security experts are urging the Nigerian government to prioritize 2 key areas: military welfare and domestic military equipment production. Additionally, experts stress the importance of Nigeria aligning with neighboring countries such as Niger to combat terrorism effectively. This call to action comes as the Economic Community of West African States activates its standby force to tackle terrorism in the sub-region.
Terrorism is an international phenomenon. There's no country that cannot listen. The CDS, has been doing some forays diplomatically, but it is more of a strategic, diplomatic, international relations issue. We must try and mend fences. We may have political or geopolitical differences. This one is supporting China, this one is supporting France. But when it comes to security, honestly, there is no way we can solve this insurgency problem without aligning with our neighbors. Nigeria is not a Western effort to try and win. Unfortunately, like it was raised, we're having the problem of fragmentation within the ECOWAS. But Nigeria is not Western its effort if it tries to bridge these cracks.
The experts are recommending that the Nigerian military should establish a committee to thoroughly study the GTI report, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of its findings and implications. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo has called for stronger international collaboration and intelligence sharing to tackle transnational security threats. The minister made this call at the ongoing Security and Policing 2025 conference in London, United Kingdom. At the event, he held high-level discussions with Phil Douglas, Director General of the UK Border Force Home Office, focusing on security collaboration, border control, and intelligence sharing between Nigeria and the UK. The discussions reinforced both countries' commitment to fighting organized crime, managing immigration challenges, and enhancing counter-terrorism efforts. The minister stressed the need for technology-driven solutions and proactive intelligence in addressing evolving security threats. The Security and Policing 2025 conference brings together government officials, law enforcement agencies, and security experts to explore advancements in security technology, enforcement strategies, and policy development. The news desk at 3 is reaching you on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we come. Just stay.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Many thanks for staying on. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, says strike action in Nigeria's health sector is impermissible as achieving health financing and reforms with targets of improving population health outcomes is central to President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The minister was speaking at a meeting with the executive body of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives at the Nurses' House in Abuja. Olusheye Adeabo reports.
Nurses and midwives are vital to the healthcare workforce, especially in providing maternal and child health, but issues around shortages of human capital due to migration and improved working conditions, among others, top the list of worries by the association, which often leads to strikes. Yes, I'm proud to be a nurse. This meeting is what the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, tagged a proactive measure to enhance productivity and reduce threats to lockouts and strikes. He is using it to emphasize government's investment in revamping the health sector and demanding for more patriotism.
We operate an open door policy in the ministry, and the President of our country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has prioritized the health sector. If you look at some of the things he is doing in terms of the allocation, budgetary allocation, the number of health workers that are being employed, if you look at the waivers, if you look at the executive orders, and so on and so forth that the President is doing, it's a clear indication of the priority attention that our sector is receiving.
Due to our strict adherence to the rule of law, we're not locking out the strike event, even when it hurts most of palpable reasons, to embark on industrial action, unlike other unions and associations.
Both sides shared optimism of continued engagements in meeting the demands requested towards improving working conditions across the health workforce and enhancing service delivery in the country. In Abuja, Olusheye Adeabo, NTA News.
The House of Representatives' investigation into social protection programs and rehabilitation centers is a direct response to concerns from the affected communities. Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi reports that petitions to the legislature highlighted the lack of social protection in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and other states, prompting the House to take action.
This public hearing is to scrutinize 3 critical areas affecting the community of persons with disabilities with regards to social protection programs, rehabilitation centers, and the rehabilitation of street beggars with disabilities.
To think about what can we do for them.
The interface is also to help identify gaps and implement meaningful reforms.
And why is it a national issue? It's more germane when it was reported to the House that on October 24th, the city or the capital declared war on street beggars in order to restore Abuja's image and enhance security. So the House wanted to look deeper into that by virtue of legislation. This is the beginning of that process. Social protection of PWDs in Nigeria. So this is why we're here today. Unfortunately, some of the folks that are actually very important to this are not here.
The Coordinating Minister of Health established the Rehabilitation Technical Working Group to come up with situation analysis on the situation of rehabilitation in the country. The Technical Working Group has started working with the help of the WHO, and we hope within the next few months there's going to be a strategic plan on integrating rehabilitation into health systems.
The Nigerian budget needs to be an inclusive budget, cross-cutting all the ministry, all the agencies and departments. Their budget supposed to take issue of persons with disability.
Stakeholders also raised issues of accessibility, education, and issues of sexual violation of persons with disabilities. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has adopted the report of its Finance Committee on the 4 tax reform bills. This followed clause-by-clause consideration of all relevant amendments on the bills at the Committee of the Whole. Some of the amendments include retention of the value-added tax rate at the current 7.5% as opposed to a staggered increase, and extension of income tax exemptions to specific agricultural businesses and military officers.
Men and women, especially those in war fronts, that in view of what they are going through, there's no sacrifice that is too much. And we propose that their their payee, personal income tax, they be exempted from personal income tax. Henceforth, this is our submission.
What you have before us is a reflection of Nigeria's interest, Nigeria's agitations, and Nigeria's inputs into what they feel should be the revised tax bills for Nigeria.
Mr. Speaker is right. Every shade of Nigeria was represented in that deliberation. And you can see from the clause-by-clause readings today that there was no dissecting voice.
And I can tell you both that even though we are from the opposition, we are so proud of this historic moment that is going to bring more people into the tax nets and is going to create more revenue for effective running of government.
All contentious areas have been resolved collectively, even at the level of the Committee on Finance. There is no any section that there has not been an agreement on.
The exempted ones in the tax, and this is the essence of the reform. If you consider that of the military, I think they deserve more than that.
What we did was an offshoot of the submissions that we got from the public. It was never seen as a perfect document. It was a proposal from the executive, and the public hearing provided the Nigerians with the space to actually make it a better document.
With the adoption of the report on the tax bills, the House of Representatives is working towards eventual passage of the tax bills next week. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has appealed to religious leaders, particularly Muslims, to use the holy month of Ramadan to pray for Nigeria's success and promote unity. At the fourth session of the ministerial press briefing in Abuja, the minister assured that President Tinubu is leading Nigeria with the fear of God, guided by the conviction that history will judge his administration. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The roll call of ministers continues as the platform for an interaction provided by the government spokesperson remains active.
Let me also seize this opportunity to let you know that the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, is also presenting to the public. Every month we have what we call the FGN Connect.
As he set the ball rolling, the host minister Mohammed Idris reaffirmed that Nigerians are already counting the gains from the steady reforms that are geared towards building a new Nigeria.
Let me say that we have crossed the Rubicon and the pains are gradually easing as the positive impact of these reforms are beginning to manifest. Already, we are witnessing a marked reduction in food prices, stability in the exchange rates, and a gradual decline in the cost of petroleum products, which are clear indicators that reforms are indeed yielding positive results.
He's emphatic that the ministry under his supervision will remain a watchdog of the society to ensure that citizens remain actively engaged in the nation's governance process.
I want to urge all our Muslim and Christian leaders, particularly during this period of Ramadan and the Lent, to continue to pray for Nigeria's success. With unity, faith, and collective effort, we will emerge stronger, more resilient, and positioned for lasting prosperity.
So far, 30 ministers have given the scorecards of their ministries, including the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, who has appeared twice in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
The governing All Progressives Congress APC has welcomed the heavyweight from Oyo State, Colonel Gbenga Adegbola, into the party fold following the convincing track record of the party and President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. The new entrant, who was accompanied by a former presidential aspirant, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, former Minister of Communications Adeboye Shitu, an APC chieftain from Oyo State, Olanike Tajuddin. He said the APC has proven to be a pillar of unification and a home where internal democracy and orderliness thrive, and pledged to be a loyal and sincere member of the party and to adhere to decisions and laws binding the party. National chairman of the party, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, appreciated the new entrant and announced the blueprint for Southwest politics come 2027, which is politics of hegemony, and urged him to feel free and test his popularity under the biggest party in Africa. The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has inaugurated the party's South-South Zonal Caretaker Committee, pending when a Zonal Congress will be held to elect new substantive officials. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that Chief Emmanuel Ogidi is chairman of the 7-man Caretaker Committee.
Inauguration of a 7-man Caretaker Committee to pilot the affairs of the PDP in the South-South zone of the country.
And in accordance with the constitution of the party.
The party's acting national chairman, Ambassador Umar Ilia Damagum, clarifies that the tenure of the former executive committee in the zone expired March 9, 2025, and no zonal congress has been held by the party to replace them.
There was no any election as far as this party is concerned in South-South for zonal congress. I want to make this clear. I enjoin you to be devoid of any partisanship or taking side.
We will discharge our duties dispassionately to the glory of God.
Our great party will become more united
and continue to win elections in the South-South.
Chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Senator Adolphus Wabara, and Senate Minority Leader Abba Moro said PDP is bouncing back to its old winning ways.
If we get it right, 2027 is just for us to pick.
We see PDP as a brand name that cuts across the country.
The governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doye Diri, former national chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, new national secretary of the party, Sunday Ude Okoye, are among others that witnessed the inauguration ceremony. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And that's the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for watching. I am Chinenye Nwe.